Okay, Yzma, I've got to sit here to film. Do you mind? Can I sit here? Okay. Hello! Welcome back to episode... there it is! Welcome back to episode 11 of Cat's Caffeinated Craftcast. Hopefully a shorter episode today. I don't have a whole lot. Before I get into... inconsequential papers falling on the ground. Before I get too terribly far into things, I would like to note that this is a swearing-friendly podcast. I do swear. Please do not step on my laptop, Yzma. I love you to death, but that laptop is on its last legs anyway. This is a swearing-friendly podcast. Last week, in episode 10, I completely forgot to mention this. Oh dear. The camera is now all kinds of wackadoodle. It's shaking. Alright, 2 seconds. Can I sit here? Can I sit here? I'm gonna sit here. Alright. Alright, so hopefully that's better. There's a lot of jury rigging going on. So I have one of those like really kind of cheapy like camera arms that are intended for iPhones. I have an iPhone. First of all, mine didn't ever, like, it didn't come with all of the pieces it was supposed to have when I got it. And it's not the best. Like, I literally got the cheapest one. Anyway, swearing-friendly podcast. I forgot to say it in the last episode, and I haven't gotten any feedback on that episode about that particular point, but I realized while I was editing it that I was very sailor-esque in the way I was talking in the last episode. Yzma, do not get on this table. Okay. Yeah, so usually I have the camera arm propped up on my desk here on the end of it, but I've realized that like I can't really get good angles with that. So I have another very rickety little side table. Yzma, you're gonna sit right here. That I have the camera arm hooked to, and it's very wiggly, and so just. And if you can't tell, she's a very chubby girl. Freedom. So just like even her brother, my cat Kronk, who is much smaller, getting on that table will wiggle it really bad. Like me getting my coffee off of the table wiggles it really bad. So anyway, swearing friendly. I'm sorry about the previous episode and all of the F-bombs I dropped. It had been 3 months since the last time I recorded. I was very rusty and very upset with a lot of the things going on in the world. I am still very upset about those things. So things that I am upset about in order of most upsetness. Black Lives Matter. All lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. This is something I meant to mention last episode, but I'm not in a financial position to be capable of donating right now, currently. I can't donate, I can't buy any of the products created in collaboration with Black, Indigenous, and people of color creators. I can't. I've been out of work for a year now. I can't. But what I can fucking do, there it is. There's F-bomb 1. Should I start a counter? Should I start a counter? What I can do is 2 things. 3, technically. Educate my damn self. I can read all of the things. I like to think of myself as a very well-read person who knows a lot of things about the world. And like, no, I'm not surprised that these things are happening. I'm never surprised and I haven't been surprised since I was about 13. Not about the sheer number of people murdered by the police every year. About finding out last week, heck, not even, maybe it was like 2 days ago, I found out that the Ice Cream Truck song is a very racist song. So yeah, it was a gal's IGTV video that I saw that was being shared around on Instagram, and then like, not in disbelief, but like in holy fuck, really? Which I guess is a type of surprise. But also, like, I'm not surprised, I just didn't know. So I went and I looked it up, and yeah, it's awful. Absolutely awful. And apparently the word picnic also is incredibly racist in origin. Which is not something I knew. Again, I'm not surprised, because, you know, seems like every other white person word has racist origins. Not every other as in all of the words except for that one, but like if you had a list of 50 words, every other word on that list of words would be racist in origin. So, you know, educate yourself. So yeah, tier 1 is, if you can afford it, donate to organizations like Black Lives Matter and that other one whose name is escaping me. But basically, find your local bail funds. Probably donating to them is also a really good idea. If you are going to be making any purchases of patterns, yarn, crafty shit, hell, even your regular groceries, if there is a shop in town owned by a person of color, shop there. Don't shop at Walmart. Don't buy Coca-Cola, which is really sad because I am like a rum and coke bitch. So, you know, don't buy cola either. Don't shop at Home Depot. Oh, honestly, there's so much that you can just go through and read on your own. But yeah, so tier 1 is give money to Black people. Tier 2 is educate your damn self. And then tier 3, I would say, and it's not that these are less important, it's just like tier 1, much fewer people can do that as of right now. You know, just straight up donate. I can't, anyway, and then you have, as Gail Glasspie from GG Made It stated, stand in the gap, which kind of ties into with educating yourself and educating your family, but it's also a lot to do with, like, not sitting there quietly when people say shit. She has a very it has a very specific vibe that I cannot put a finger on at the moment. Small video on her channel about this movement, and I will link it below, which of course goes back to 1, because she has made t-shirts and various other merch that has the little Stand in the Gap logo on it, and trust me, I want to get some. As soon as I have the expendable money to be able to do so, I will. And like uplifting other people's voices. And then there's 4, which is something I am even doing right now while filming this for you. There are multiple different, like, very long music videos, like just different artists and stuff. Some of them are specifically like lesser known black artists, blah blah blah. But all of the ad proceeds from them go to Black Lives Matter and other charities that do this. So basically what you do is you open it up on your laptop, you go to YouTube, you start up the video, and you just let it play. And if you don't want the sound on, you mute the tab. You don't mute the video, you mute the tab. And you don't want to loop this video, you don't want to watch it too many times right in a row. And you don't want to play it from a playlist. If you're a K-pop fan, you probably know how to like properly stream things for views and all of that. The ones, hilariously enough, the info I found on those has all been on Tumblr, and all of them, like, I haven't found anywhere else online that is explained how to do that as succinctly as these Tumblr posts. So I'll put a couple of those in. I'll make sure I link to a couple of those places. Black Lives Matter. Oh man, I'm feeling some type of way, as you can probably tell. Okay, so getting through the things that are a problem right now. COVID-19, the coronavirus. It's still a thing. It's still a thing. I don't care that your state has opened back up. I don't care that your city has opened back up. I don't care that the beaches are back open. Wear your mask. If you're gonna go outside, wear your mask. Please, 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 please. Pretty please, wear your mask. Wear your mask. It's so easy. Like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people who are generally my age, I am now 24 as of last Wednesday, if we had goth, punk, emo scene sort of phases, we all wore masks for fashion at one point in time, and we would wear those damn things all around with no problems. So like, I'm gonna say probably anyone as old as 30, and I'm probably one of the younger ones that was like still a big fashion trend for, but I'm gonna go like in the 20 to 30 range gap. If you had one of those phases and you wore masks, you damn well better be wearing a mask right now. And then Ravelry and their horrible response to their website being ableist and non-inclusive and very damaging to people. So I haven't as I said in the last episode, I logged in, saw the new thing, and immediately logged right back out. And then I saw a Instagram post about someone explaining how they were counting the number of people who had switched back to the old Rav. So I opened it up, switched back to old Rav, and then downloaded all of my patterns. All of them that were in my queue, all of them that were in my library, if they were free and if they were immediate downloads, and then like 4 or 5 that I've actually paid for. So I've downloaded all of that. It's a bit of a bummer that I was going through like some of my really old, because I've been on Ravelry since late 2013, early 2014. So some of the really old patterns that I have saved, if they're not like a PDF Ravelry download, I've gone to a couple and the blog has been deleted. Which is really frustrating. But you know, that's what happens when you're on the internet long enough. You start noticing things you used to really love die. So, there we go. Black Lives Matter. COVID still exists. Bravolity sucks ass. Now, on to actual admin. So thing one on admin, I'm thinking about turning this into either a 1st and 15th sort, or a fortnightly podcast. Purely because right now I feel like, ooh, pardon me, I don't have a whole heck of a lot to show you. That could just, oh my god, why do I have hiccups now? That could totally just be because the past week was my birthday, and I'm fairly certain I dislocated my shoulder either Tuesday or Wednesday and then popped it back into place Wednesday afternoon on our way home from our walk to the coffee shop. So like my shoulder hurts really bad. It's a lot better now, and it's mostly just sore. And that's why episode 10, as of filming, it's Sunday the whatevereth now. Wednesday was the 8th, Thursday was the 9th, Friday was the 10th, 11th, 12th. It's Sunday the 12th. You notice I don't have any sense of time. As of right now, episode 10 doesn't have show notes because I haven't been able to type because of the position that requires my arm to be in. It actually, I feel like my arm would not feel sore right now if I didn't have the bra on, but I didn't want anybody to be able to see my headlamps. So we'll see what happens, like what I make over the next week, whether or not I decide to make a podcast next Tuesday or next Sunday, or I'll wait till the one after that. Yeah. So then we have a section that was not present in the last one, and that is cows, and mills. So crochet alongs, knit alongs, and make alongs. I have 4 right now that I am actively trying to participate in. So I'm not going to just be sharing random ones anymore from like everybody. I'm going to be sharing specifically ones I am actively interested in and like have something for. So we have Meg from Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits, and that is the hashtag is BWG Christmas in July 4. So it's just Christmas in July. You can go to her podcast and get like super in-depth deets, but basically the deal is that you make that you're getting a head start on your Christmas gifts, your winter festivity gifts. I call it Yule Miss, because that's what my family, we didn't call it Yule Miss, but that's like how we celebrated it. So Yule is a Norse pagan holiday. It's essentially just the winter solstice. It happens on the 21st or thereabouts of December every year. So my entire life we gave gifts to each other and had a ridiculously large meal on the 21st, and then we turned around and had it again 4 days later on the 25th. And then 4 days after that was my parents' anniversary. So yeah, it was basically what I'm saying here is that winter months are busy. So because they were, I think that was a fruit fly up my nose. My goodness, how rude. Basically because my family celebrated both Yule and Christmas, and we kind of just blurred it all together. I call it Yule Miss, so as to not to offend my extended family members who don't celebrate Yule, and to not offend my extended family members that don't celebrate Christmas. I have made it into one giant conjoined word, because my family knows that's how I talk. make ridiculous contractions. Anyway, but basically anything that will get you ahead on your winter festivity gift giving. I currently have one item on the needles for that one. Which technically also goes into 2 other make-alongs, 2 of the 4 others that I have. So we have Nikki from Tea and Possibilities, and that is the Summer of Socks Cow 2020, hashtag on the screen. And that's now to August 31st. And you just knit socks during the summer. I believe that started in June. And then Ellie from Craft House Magic is having the Summer Sock Along 2020, and that's from now to August 31st, and I believe it also started in June. I don't have a hashtag for that one. So if Editing Me finds one, she will put it here. They will put it here. I don't know what gender terms Editing Me is going to use. That's so much fun. And existential crisis inducing. And then we have, I have such a hard time pronouncing her name. Kaya or Kaias from Kaiasbad. And I think that's the closest I'm going to get. A Swedish, Danish? Crap. Editing me. But she is another knitting podcast, another craftcaster. And she is the one who's been hosting the Free Sock Monthly, or Free Socks Monthly 2020 knit along. And the July pattern is Thunder and Lightning by Dawn Henderson, which is a really beautiful and lovely pattern, and it has like little bubbles and chevrons, and it's great. And it's a shorty sock too. So I have that pattern downloaded and everything. I'm going to use my Knit Crate yarn for it. I got the Energize Me sock this month. So it's a creamy blank base with stellina, and I'm getting the fuchsia speckles. I feel like that's really kind of on brand for me. Anyway, so yeah, which then means that, yeah, basically, as you can probably tell, socks are my thing right now. So now we're gonna move on to FOs. So we have the Empower People 2020 bandana. I did the crochet version, and I used some cotton nylon. I used this guy. It's a worsted weight. It is the Loops and Threads Cream Cotton, which is a cotton nylon blend, and in purple, because you're supposed to make it in purple. So the crochet one is by Busy Peach. I don't remember what her name is. I feel bad about that. So it is designed, you chain here, and then you work like flat with increases on one side, and then you just stitch them together here. So it's just a little bandana. You know, you wear it here. I saw quite a few people wearing it on their hair. I think actually the modeled pictures for the crochet one show them wearing it as a bandana. I'm going to wear it for the reasons that you're supposed to wear it. I will link to all 4 of the gals who are doing that. I will link to the website, all of that, because that also cycles back around to the Black Lives Matter thing. I'm glad I made it. I'm glad I have it. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be one of those things that I genuinely reach for all the time, though. Like, I'm going to reach for it for the specific purpose of wearing it to go vote, and If I feel comfortable protesting anytime soon, I will be wearing it to protest and all of the other things. If you're wondering why I haven't protested, despite the fact that I do not work, I am incredibly high risk. I have asthma, and a couple of other underlying conditions that I don't want to get into here. Well, I also have like a lot of chronic pain issues. Me dislocating my shoulder happens every couple of months. Usually it's this one though, because of the way I sleep with my husband. I put my arm up under like my pillow's here, and then like my armpit winds up completely flat against the bed, which means that this guy is popping out at least partially, basically every month or every night. So I'm doing what I can from home. Suffice to say, I would love to be out there, but so I don't know if it's because the pattern's written for DK and I used a worsted because that's what I had on hand, but it feels like it's just not quite right, and I don't know. I definitely want to try making myself something similar. I feel like my problem, maybe I sewed it together wrong. I don't know. I feel like my problem is just that it's like very off kilter, and I would like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to wear it for all of those reasons. And until I make myself another little bandana like this, I'm sure I will be grabbing it. Also, I have color preferences. But I might also try the knitted version. There's also a gal, I believe last I heard, there was a gal working on a Tunisian crochet version, so I might try that. And I think, here's a scrap of it, but I have some purple fabric in stash as well. And they do also have a sewing pattern. They are like literally trying to get as many different types of crafters to wear it as possibly can. So as I said, I'll link it all below. Then I have the Goth Kitty knee socks. They are all done. They were all done for my birthday. But I don't remember if I mentioned this in the last episode. And I don't remember if I mentioned it in my one Instagram post I made about them. They're a very blue purple. And most of my wardrobe is very pinky purple. Yeah, very pinky purples. So these at the moment don't really go with much of anything. Like I could totally wear them with an all black outfit. I could wear them with other things, but I would rather be able to wear like these socks, black shorts, and a purple t-shirt or tank top or whatever. But I don't have like this kind of clashes. And then this, I'm sure I don't, because I don't have my camera, I don't use the front facing camera when I use my phone. I use the back camera because that gives a better camera quality, and it means that I'm not distracted by looking at my own little face, and so I can look right at the hole that is my camera. So I don't know what color this is showing up as, but I have a feeling that compared to this top, these look very much blue rather than purple. It's either that or this looks pink and this looks purple. I don't know. So yeah, the toes, I made notes of everything because I'm not using Ravelry, so I'm making notes of everything in my notebook. So the Goth Kitty knee socks. This is the rounded toe by the Knitting Swede. It is the kitty ankle socks. There's a whole bunch of yarn. ball bands from yarn I want to find again. The face motif chart is the kitty ankle socks by Inorganic. And then of course, the fish lips kiss heel by the Socks Therapist. And then Basic Knee-High Toe-Up Sock by Single Stitch Knit. For the increasing pattern. As I mentioned last episode, they do actually have you stop after 55 rounds, or 5.5 increase repeats. Also, I haven't woven in the ends. Shh. So I kind of wung it because this is like 9, 10 increase repeats. The yarn, the dark gray yarn here is Patton's Croy and Gentleman Gray. The purple and dark gray marl is Vitalana Heathered Sock by Knit Crate in the Wisteria color. And then this gold here is scraps from Lion Brand Sock Ease in Taffy. And I went through and I plucked out little golden sections to be able to do the eyes. So there's those. Next we have something, it's kind of halfway between a whip and a finished object. So I've made 2 of these. They're just, honestly, they're half double crochet circle thingies. Tuesday, the day before my birthday, I finished these about midway through the day. And because of how long I felt like they took me about a week. It took me about a week. I needed a whole bunch of things that I could do really quickly and feel accomplished. So I made 2 of these. One of them has already been used for my cast iron, so it's looking a little rough because it was used for my cast iron after my fiance made blackened gator in it. Yeah, so I believe that this is the Red Heart Scrubby in Zesty. I believe this one's Zesty. And I'm using an H hook. They suggest an I hook. I don't have an I hook. I'm just gonna go lower because I've noticed, generally speaking, my gauge is a lot smaller than what people say you're supposed to get, and I don't know what that's about. I really don't. So yeah, that's kind of a finished object and kind of a whip. Then we have, this is the Dumpling Kitty pattern by Critter Beans. And this is the Lovey Tops DMC DK that I got forever ago, and had no idea what I was going to do with it, and thought I was just going to do pattern as is and then stash it for whenever someone had a baby around me. And then my cat, Yzma, the chubby one that you saw at the beginning, decided she was going to start carrying around the little head of that yarn. She was just going to start grabbing the yarn ball by the little head and carrying it around. I'm like, oh, is that your baby? And then she carried it around. So then I just untied the head from it, and I'm like, oh, here's the head. I'll make a body for it later with the yarn. I troubleshooted making a body with this yarn for a good bit before I stopped like crocheting altogether, and knitting and all of that back in April, and just never found anything good. And I remembered that I had seen quite a few really cute crocheted and knit patterns for little cats like this. So I whipped this up yesterday in a few minutes. The pattern does call for you to make little feet and tail. I know that would probably give her more like little spaces to grab onto, but also I don't want to put that much work into something my cat's going to just carry around with her. I stole stuffing from one of my couch pillows, usually the one that's under my butt, but because Yzma was sitting here, I couldn't slide it underneath the blanket. So yeah, there's that. I might make her more, I might put the legs on. This pattern, I believe, calls for a D, but I don't have a D, so I'm using an E. And just making sure I go a lot tighter. E is the smallest I have. That's why I didn't just grab a smaller hook for this pattern. So yeah, there's that. And then it calls for safety eyes, but I just took some scraps of the yarn from my woodland locked socks and cross-stitched on some eyes. I feel like I should probably not do little X's on something that's supposed to be my cat's baby. But I also, as mentioned, I had a very punk phase where I bought all of those cute things from like Hot Topic and whatever, and they were like cute animals with little X's on their eyes. So that's like an aesthetic that I grew up with. So this is something that I feel like I need to do. Oh, and then another finished object. I made this little like cake boat basket. It's just an oval bottom here. And you will notice that this is the yarn from Caffeinated, and the Golden Garden socks aren't cast on. We'll talk about that in a second. So whips, right now, so we're gonna start with the socks. So this is the Altanin pattern by Kalisha Ryan of Quirky Money Craftcast. And she has this really beautiful sort of stitch pattern in here in the middle, and it's gonna be right down the front of the foot. I believe it's a seed stitch. I won't talk too much about the pattern because it is a paid for pattern. But I found it a very intriguing pattern and I wanted to play around with it a bit. So I started to do that on a dishcloth here. So I don't think I'm going to have enough to make this into a square from what I have left here in this nugget, so I'm probably just gonna grab one of my other dishcloth cottons from the stash back over here and do the last of it. I might make it a bit longer and make it sort of a tea towel sort, but I really like the fabric it makes. It's not flat because there's a good amount of texture, but it's also like, it's not curling up or like scrunching together like a stockinette or a ribbed fabric would do. I like it a good deal. Which means I think I'm going to be playing around with more patterns of a similar nature. So basket, moss, and if this one's not seed, those sort of similar patterns. So those are my whips right now. This is specifically for my husband for Yule. So it's specifically for the Christmas in July make along, but it's also going into the 2 summer sock ones. Yeah. So now we're on to the and I still have the cotton tee I was making with the loops and threads cotton back over here. I just haven't felt motivated by it. So onto the Golden Gardens and the Caffeinated. So because these arrived to me during the point in time where I did not feel motivated to knit or make anything at all, I didn't swatch them to see how the color work would work out. So I cast them on Friday night. I believe it was Friday night. I believe I was all alone. And I got through the ribbing and I did like 4 or 5 rounds of the color work. And then I looked down at it and I couldn't really tell what was the color work and what was the pink flecks in the speckled yarn as a stitch. And then I went to try it on and my like floats were too tight. I don't know if that is by virtue of not having worked a lot of color work in the round, or like, god damn. Or if maybe or if it was like the fact that I use DPNs and I should buy some 9-inch circulars to do this, to do color work. So that has of course moved all of my color work socks down further on the queue, the mental queue I'm keeping, and the semi-physical queue I'm keeping, until I can get those. Which is a bit of a bummer because I do really want to make colorwork socks. That's something I have wanted to make basically since I started knitting socks multiple years ago. This is starting to come back, which means I probably need to, it's probably about time for me to take another acetaminophen and hurry up with this and get it finished so I can get the bra off and get the pressure off of it. Anyway. Basically, there's not high enough contrast between these two. I am apparently not very good at tensioning on floats in the round in socks. So colorwork socks are all pushed to the end of the queue. I had wanted to use these two yarns in a project together for a pair of socks. I had been browsing Ravelry and I saw the Golden Garden socks and I'm like, ooh, that would be really pretty to use in a lightly speckled base color and then the bright tonal for the color work. Because I saw a couple of other people's projects with it and they'd done that. And I was like, oh, that's very nice. And then I watched an episode of ChemKnits. I believe it was because these ones were dyed live. I believe it was a recap episode, or like the episode afterwards when she was showing off that these guys were dry, something like that. And I saw those, and I saw these two, and I immediately went, oh yes, that's what, like, those yarns would be the perfect Golden Gardens. So they sat in my, as I mentioned last episode, they sat in my Etsy cart forever. Waiting for me to have the funds to buy them, and I bought them with my tax return. But now I'm thinking that maybe I will knit myself a pair of like shorties, vanilla shorties with contrast heel cuffs and toes, and then the body of this, to wear that I have these two together in a pair of socks. But I've also, because I have the paint pan socks on my to knit, I was thinking that this would be a really cute base for the paint pan socks because the pink and the black speckles would wind up looking like your paint had splattered everywhere in your paint pan. I would have to swatch it with the other like scrap colors I have, and as I mentioned, I'm going to be knitting through most of my like sock stash before I make the paint pans. I'm thinking the paint pan are going to be like what I make in like November, December. And then this, there is Ellie of Craftcast Magic. She has a free sock pattern called V for Valentine, and it has like a little eyelet heart lace with a little V underneath on the leg on the outer side. And I thought that would be very cute in these because those are a very simple, mostly vanilla sock. I feel like it'd be really cute to have those in pink. So yeah. Oh goodness gracious. And then I told you about wanting to make the Thunder and Lightning socks for the free socks monthly 2020 thing. And then, oh crap. Yeah, okay, I'm definitely done. Oh goodness gracious. So, depending on how long you've been around, one of the episodes at the first episode in March, in the acquisitions section, I will have mentioned popping by my thrift store that's right around the corner and going through the fabric and seeing this really lovely wool, but because of how large of a yardage it was and how broke I was at the point in time, I didn't grab it, but I shoved it to the back of the drawer, and I was planning on going back like the next week or the week after next, in a few days, to go back and nab it when I had money. I never managed to go back, but I went back before I filmed last episode. Yeah, before I filmed last episode, so like the end of June, I went back to my thrift store and I dug around because I wanted to buy some cotton for making mask making, and then some of the white brushed cotton flannelly whatever that I used on the pads. I also got that. My thrift store has like a really good fabric section. It's never put together very nicely, but there's always a very wide selection of stuff there. So if I'm not particular on color and it's more of like fabric type, I can usually find what I'm looking for. Anyway, I went back literally almost 4 months later, and it was still there. Nobody wanted it. It's gorgeous. Like, it's such a pretty freaking color. I don't know. I guess it's because it's a wool blend that no one wanted it. No one in Florida wants to buy wool and wear wool. But yeah, here it is. So I don't know oh goodness gracious. I don't know if it's really picking it up, but there are like these weird little fuzzy bits all over it that are green, and because I can pick them off, and neither the warp nor the weft threads appear to have green in them. I don't think it's originally part of the fabric, but it's also on both sides and relatively evenly distributed. Are these little green linty nubs, and I love it. I love it so much. I did a burn test on it. It is a wool and synthetic blend. Yeah, it's actually quite lightweight and very drapey. Yeah. And there's 3 or 4 yards here. So I'm thinking what I want to do is make like a just above the knee circle skirt that's at my natural waist, and then make it like a little jumper. If any of the older crowd like was a teen in the 80s, or like pinafore, or like overall dress kind of style, make it like that. So basically all I would need is thread that looks good with it and a small pinch of interfacing, and then maybe some buttons, but I have a jar of buttons that I might be able to pick some stuff out of if I don't mind having slightly mismatched buttons, which I never really do. Anyway, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. I'm very happy it was still there, and like I'm crying. Okay. Oh, also, on top of other things that I found while at the thrift store, that when I grabbed this, was this little teeny tiny bit of blue wool, which I don't even have to do a burn test on, like, because of the way it's done. I'm gonna say, if it is a blend, it's like 80 wool, 20 whatever else, maybe even 90 wool, 10 whatever else, because it's definitely like that. Oh, what I was saying about the little green bits. Either A, the previous owner of this fabric kept this with a green wool, or washed it with a green wool, and that's why it has all of these little schlubs all over it. Anyway, So there's that. You can also see I got some weird, like, Victoria's Secret bag type stripes. Yeah, anyway. So another thing I got was this really lovely dark green linen. So I think I'm gonna make like a little linen t-shirt out of it. Maybe I'll make some shorts, because it's not, I want to try, and if I make tops, I want them to be comfortable to wear without something underneath, because this is Florida. So I don't know, but anyway, very lovely green color. Gonna be sewing that up. The last little bit is oh goodness, a very, very small amount of stash persistence, because it was my birthday. My fiance, the Goblin King, tends to do more of the experience sort of gift giving, which I don't really mind at all. Like last year, his Christmas gift to me was to take me to the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens, which I loved. My birthday present this year was he cooked for me. He cooked every single meal for me for 3 days straight. And then we walked to the coffee shop on my birthday and then took a quick walk on the beach. It was very fun. But our girlfriend also was over for a brief amount of time, and she got me a whole bunch of little trinkets, one of which being, I believe she said it's red tiger's eye, but it's a tiger's eye beaded bracelet with a gold dragonfly charm and a couple of gold dividers. Anyway, so there's that guy. That's one she got me. The rest of these are all stuff I had already. Then she got me, I don't know what shop she got these from, but pardon the cat hair. She got, so this is a little bag. I believe that might be the shop logo, that might not be the shop logo. So she got me some stone hearts, smoky quartz, and then 2 different jaspers. She said one's a volcanic jasper and one is a ocean jasper. But generally speaking, my capability to identify jaspers just ends at it's a jasper, because there are so goddamn many. So there's those. And I'm planning on cleansing those at the full moon and all of that. This was actually something she had stuck as a decoration on the box. She like used a little piece of tape, but it's a little vellum sticker. I'm gonna stick it in my notebook pretty much as soon as we're done here. I just didn't. It's a botanical drawing of something. I think that might be milkweed. Anyway, then she got me a tapestry, a little mini tapestry. Oh, and there's some stickers that she got me as well. I say mini, but like it's not that small, and it's a black cat. And we've got a couple of other little things on it all over. I don't believe that this is going to wind up being my new background here. I think I might hang it up behind my couch, which is right across from me. So it might wind up being my background in a couple of episodes if I decide I want to sit on the couch rather than a shitty plastic lawn chair with a blanket thrown over it. So yeah, there's that little lovely thing. Of course, I'm not gonna bother. I'm a goddamn heathen and I'm sorry. Then we have, I forgot I put water in my water bottle for me to drink today. Then we have my big ass 1 gallon water bottle. So I have stickers all over it. So this one is one she got me, and it's a tarot card, but coffee themed. I believe all 3 of these are from the same shop. I will put the shops, I believe it's their Instagram handle. It's on the bottom of all the stickers. I'll put it on the screen here. I don't know if my finger is gonna go across it or like point at. Anyway, so we have this one, which is the tarot card. Our girlfriend is Puerto Rican. So that is why a lot of the things she gives me, I have no, So I haven't shared a lot of them, but a lot of them do wind up having like phrases in Spanish. So this is, from what she told me, this word means the sort of sentiment behind go with the flow. And it's a little wave. And then this sticker, okay, I'm actually gonna let you see the wave and the tarot card really quick first. Then my life in a nutshell. Boom, chicken nuggets. Pretty much all I eat is gluten-free chicken nuggets. If you want a suggestion on gluten-free chicken nuggets, the Applegate ones are pretty good, but my absolute 100% favorite are, I get them in Publix, and they're in this gigantic blue bag, and I believe they're called like Golden Harvest or Golden Platter, something like that. They're very good. They're well seasoned. I've also had the Purdue ones, but if I remember correctly, we have issues with Purdue due to environmental reasons. Anyway, turned too much. I believe that it is everything. Oh, actually. So a while ago I thrifted a hat. It was a very cute hat. It wound up going through the washer and dryer. It was very, very wool. It felted. So I took it apart and tried to block out the yarn a bit. It doesn't feel super felted. Like it honestly feels like I could twist it and unply it even. Yeah. But it still very much looks like ramen noodles. Don't know what I'll do with it, but I have it. Alright, so that is the end of the episode. I love and appreciate you for sticking around and watching me for however long this prattle happened. I'm gonna say it's about 45 minutes before editing. Hopefully I can get it down to like 20 or so by cutting out me misstepping and talking to my cat. Alright, bye-bye. See you next time.